It's Coffee Break, episode 128.
Woo, yeah.
So, guess what? There's not much to talk about this week.
Yep, which is so annoying, because tomorrow
is a lot of reveals.
So, yoo-hoo.
So we're going to kick this off really... Well, I don't expect it to be a big episode here, but we're going to talk about some things. Some fun things, some interesting things, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, I said there was going to be a garbage eggs.
Yeah, so what happened?
So...
What conundrum befell you?
You remember when I said the 23rd of this month was the best day of the month?
Mm-hmm.
And I had a great day.
You did? I remember.
I was knocking it out of the park. I was happy. The birds were singing, the sun was shining, the grass was actually green for once. But then... then I came across this Sunday.
Uh-huh.
The 26th. Sorry, I'm double checking my calendar.
Uh-huh.
I got into the shower to go to work. Doing fine, everything's great. Immediately slip. Can't catch myself. I end up smashing my face on the, the back part of the tub where your back is supposed to lay, so it's kind of like slanted.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was my bottom canine went into my bottom lip, ripped through it while my top canine bit on top of my lip. I almost punctured an entire hole in my face.
Yeah, you almost pierced your own lip.
Yes. I was amazed I didn't damage my teeth any more than I did. I think I'm missing a little bit on my tooth.
Ooh.
But the bleeding wouldn't stop. You'll find later on, if you're watching the One Piece ones, you'll see I'm either quiet or I'll later on mention I can finally move my face now.
Mm-hmm.
The blood didn't stop for over 12 hours. It luckily did. I didn't have to go to the hospital.
It wasn't crazy blood, but it was continual blood.
Now, what does that have to do with garbage eggs? No, that's just how the day started.
It's crazy how fragile humans are.
Yes.
Our existence really hinges on us not falling, because any fall could be disastrous.
Yes.
You could break fingers, legs,
knees,
heads,
femurs.
If you're holding, I watched
boners.
I saw a woman. I saw a woman today just carrying a baby, and she was doing that one arm maneuver moms do. And and every single time I'm just like, if you fall, you're both. It's over. Yeah. We're so fragile.
I saw a baby earlier today. They brought this thing into a store, and it was clearly just new. I mean, it still had the sheen on it.
The baby?
Yeah. And I'm like, why are you walking around with that?
I know.
I would be held up so tight in my home on the couch watching TV. That thing would be next to me.
Hermit.
Yeah. I would have blankets everywhere. Yeah, I can't believe it. So yes, humans are fragile. As I'm doing this and I'm staying home because I need the bleeding to stop, I'm doing more power on stuff, and I ran into a problem where my computer was like, you have too much stuff on it, you need to get rid of it. And there was an Apple iCloud problem, and I just told Apple, you know what, I don't want you on here, turn this off. And what it did is it effectively erased all of garbage eggs, all my logos, all the footage I got for it. I literally lost so many hours of work and time and effort in one click.
Yeah.
It was gone, and I couldn't get it back. So what I did is I just shut it down for the day, and I sat down on the couch and watched movies with you.
Yup.
And then the next morning I got up and I was like, you know what? We're going to rebuild this. So garbage eggs, it will come back. I just need to re-record it. I still have the script, luckily.
Which, you know what? We kind of goofed up recording the script the first time.
Maybe
this was a blessing.
What happened was I gave the dogs some bones, and there were 9 on them, and you can hear it throughout the audio.
The intention was so that the dogs wouldn't be bugging us.
But they wanted to eat the bones next to us.
Yes. So you can hear it
So
all throughout the audio.
I have nothing of it, just memories and a script. But that's what happened right there.
Mm-hmm.
As for logos, you will see now there are new logos.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoy them. A lot of thought went into... No, it wasn't a lot of thought. I just looked at all the big major guys and realized it's 2 colors.
Uh-huh.
And I had 3 colors.
Yes.
And I was like, let's make it simple.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went with the red and white. The ending title there, right? I have my 3 colors there, but I thought it was a really cool design.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really different than what the boring normal one was.
Snazzy.
Yep.
Like the detailed version.
With that all being said, the next project is not Garbage Eggs. We're going to go back to cryptids. It's time to do it.
Yeah.
And I already have all my notes written. I'm going to write a script up, record it, bam. It should be here Tuesday.
Yeah. Good luck. I believe in you.
For those who listen and you're curious what it will be the Loveland Frogman.
Woo!
So, here you go. Capcom is rumored to also be working on other games.
Yeah?
Resident Evil specific games. Apparently, they are remaking Resident Evil 0 along with remaking Resident Evil.
What?
Along with remaking Resident Evil Code Veronica.
See, that makes sense. Everyone thought Code Veronica was going to be happening.
It should have been.
And I wasn't surprised they skipped over Resident Evil, the first one, because that one's been remade a couple of times. And, like, you know, just jump to Leon. Jump to the famous guy, you know? The one most people know the franchise for. It was 2. But now it's like, that did so good, let's just retroactively go back and do the first one as well.
You know, in the main series, he's only in 3 games.
I know, but he's like the poster child of it. He's the guy.
It's mostly the Redfields.
Yeah, I would argue they're probably more the main characters. But Leon's got that cute little face that everyone
He does,
loves.
and that cute tushy.
Those big, broad shoulders.
And
for
those
catching
sexy
Ashley
biceps for punching bad guys.
Yep.
You don't use your bicep to punch, but I like to imagine he does.
Those long, long, sexy legs to roundhouse kick bad guys.
I don't know how much validity I can put towards these ideas, but it does make sense to me. I'm glad it's not Resident Evil 5. I'm glad we're not redoing Resident Evil 5 quite yet. I felt like it was way too soon. Mm-hmm. We'll find out in the future what it is, but we know for sure Resident Evil 9 will drop earlier this year.
I'm so nervous. I think it's
going to be great.
I want to see a trailer. I'm not going to put the cart before the horse.
Well, we will probably see a trailer tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, which is the day that you're listening to it, or it's already happened because some of you guys are listening to it a little later, there will be a state of play. I do not know what this entails, but I know that Capcom and Sony have teamed up to make sure that Resident Evil and
Silent Hill?
Monster Hunter are going to be a PlayStation thing.
I'm excited. I'm bummed that Monster Hunter is going to be PlayStation because I like it on my Switch. I'm sure it'll make it to the Switch eventually, right? Mm-hmm. We'll see.
I know something about the Switch too.
What do you know?
So someone went in and started data mining Paper Mario.
Yeah?
And they found files that were indicating that there's a potential that this game can run at 4K.
Okay.
Hinting that perhaps the Switch 2 can run at 4K.
Finally, catching up to what everyone else is doing.
We'll see how that goes, but even if it's just 2K, that's one hell of a step up than the 1080p. Another big showcase tomorrow will be Silent Hill.
Yeah.
It's not going to show us any of the game stuff, apparently. It's mostly going to be merchandise, and we're going to get an official trailer for the upcoming movie.
Buy this game that has no... Buy merch for this game that hasn't had a game in like 10 years.
No, they just dropped a new trailer for it.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
When?
Like a few days ago.
Oh, well, alright then.
I'm not watching the trailers because I just want the game. Just give me the game. I want to play the game. Mm-hmm. That's my whole ordeal here. I'm very excited to see this movie because it's the original director coming back And this will be the third Silent Hill, and it's based on Silent Hill 2.
The first one, really good.
Yes.
The second one, no.
The first one is, I would say, for its time, and even all the way up to, last summer? Because we got that One Piece adaptation. Mm-hmm. It was one of the greatest adaptations ever, and it's not even really faithful to the original.
No, not even. And I kind of like how much they changed it around, because it makes it like a different perspective of the story.
Focusing more on the mom instead of the dad.
Mm-hmm. Like an AU, like a what-if scenario. The second movie was Poo Poo, but Kit Harington's in it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
A very young Kit Harington. Pre-Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Weird. Just weird.
Mm-hmm.
That was based on Silent Hill 3. They did not do it well. Silent Hill 3 was a lot more intense than that. Rebel Moon.
What? What about it?
We're not done with Rebel Moon. I don't understand when Zach says this. He says, we planned 4 or 6 more. And I'm like, are you saying you want to make 6 to 8 films in total? Or are you adding the 2 and saying you want to make 2 to 4 more?
Or does it mean like 6 more, but that might include 7 more different director's cuts? What is that?
I don't know what it means. I'm like, I can see how you think there's 2 more after this.
Yeah.
With the way Scargiver ended.
Sure.
Right.
It's... no one likes this. At most, it's a meh kind of movie.
I love it.
I love it because it's dumb and terrible.
Yeah. And, doing that review, I will review the second one. Don't worry. But I had so much fun picking on it. And as I kept picking on it, I was like, I think I like you.
It is annoying how much I'm like, no, that's not the character's name. You have to get the lore right.
I felt like a schoolboy where I was like, why do I keep picking on the cute girl? Because I want her attention. That's what's going on here.
I think the thing that sucks the most is it has so much potential.
It does.
You could see how this world, these characters could be like really, really cool. Mm-hmm. But the way he's done it with these movies are lame, stinky poo-poo garbage.
Yep. I never knew that farming crops was that magical. Oh, that's all I can say.
He just fell in love with grain. With farming and
grain and lens flares,
grain.
Baby.
And I'm like, how much? And that one song over and over again.
So, the director's cuts are on their way later this summer.
Nice.
They got new titles.
What do you mean? Why? What? Why? What do you mean they got new titles? Why?
It's still Rebel Moon, but he said this, which is even more confusing to me, because I'm like, wait, I don't know how many you're trying to make. But he goes, because we added this hour back in, they have different openings, and you can kind of consider it as like an AU to the original. And I was like, what? What is happening?
That's not the point of what?
So
a director's cut isn't meant to be an AU. It's meant to be a definitive version. What do you mean?
So the new titles are Chapter 1, Chalice of Blood. We knew this title because it was the original title.
Chalice of Blood makes no sense.
Wasn't it between the king?
There were no chalices. I don't remember.
I remember it being the title before it changed to A Child of Fire.
I'm going to say Child of Fire sounds cooler.
Well, Chapter 2, The Curse of Forgiveness.
Oh, that's so worse. Oh, that sounds like a thing you would see on like a children's book.
Well, it's about the princess.
Yeah. I get it.
Which, if you watch the second... You don't have to.
She doesn't forgive anybody.
Yes, she did. She forgave her after she shot her.
Who's her? Who's her and her? We have to use proper pronouns here. There's too many characters.
Cora. Archimedes?
Sure.
Archelaus.
Just call her Cora.
Turned on the princess... Oh man, what is her name?
I don't know if they ever say it.
Yeah, they do. The iconic character Jimmy.
Princess Bean.
It's not Bean. It's like Elsie or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, when she shoots her in the second part, she's like, I'm sorry I did that. And the princess is dying. And she's like, I forgive you.
I'm annoyed.
And that's the curse of forgiveness.
I'm annoyed. Those two things were both flashback stuff. The two movies are named after things that happened in flashbacks before the events of the story of the movies.
I thought about that too. And I was like, hold on. What's the hour that you added to each movie?
Oh, no.
It's not character expansion. It's backstory.
No, God. This is the worst timeline. What do you mean? No, it can't just be that. Oh, no.
I have a strong feeling that's what he did. There's a bunch of, like... They filmed so much stuff that they were like, we can't really use this because it doesn't make sense. And he's like, don't worry, we'll make a director's cut.
It interrupts the, like, plot we're trying to tell in this movie. No, it's totally gonna be that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh no. I didn't think you could drop the ball even lower.
If you ever seen Watchmen Ultimate Cut, which is the 4-hour version. Again, there's 3 different ones. There's the theatrical, directors, and, like, Ultimate. The 4-hour version adds in animated sequences of a different story. And that story is cut throughout the film. And you're like, why am I watching this? And then at the end, you're supposed to have this aha moment where the character in that story ties into the reality of the characters.
Okay.
It doesn't work.
It's almost like they cut it for a reason.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm thinking he's doing here. I think he thinks he's a mad, brilliant scientist. And
he's the next Star Wars George Lucas, man. Look at him go.
Well, you want to talk about Star Wars?
Sure. What?
Well, what Kathleen Kennedy said.
Oh, yeah. She I don't know why. Probably because The Acolyte's going to come out soon. And has
another thing to talk about next week.
Yeah. It's starring a female character. And Kathleen Kennedy said something along the lines of, the female actresses... Oh, how did she put it?
I thought she said, our stories to move forward need to be diverse and inclusive.
I guess... I mean, but they've been doing that. There was a point she was making about how the female cast members face greater challenges than the male cast members because the Star Wars fan base is...
predominantly male.
I'm also just like very aggressive about the lore of their Star Wars.
Episode 9. I like to talk about this one. It upsets Star Wars fans quite a lot, and it upsets me as well. But the thing that I really want to point out here is not because Rey is a woman and she's the main character. Mm-hmm. It's not because the way Daisy plays her. I love the way Kylo Ren was done.
Okay.
What's his name?
Adam Driver?
Adam Driver.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way he interpreted that character, and I kind of like it. I dig it. My problem with Episode 9 is not the actors, it's not the characters, it's not the way any of that goes. It's the damn storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
J.J. Abrams messed it up.
Yes.
He royally screwed it over.
Big goose.
And that's my biggest problem.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Episode 8 came out, The Last Jedi, and everyone was mad at the girl who played Rose.
Yeah.
Who hung out with...
And they, like, harassed her.
Yeah. And... She didn't do a bad job either. It's just a bad story.
Yeah, they'll blame the people for the plot being poop, basically. It's a crud-ass plot, but you won't blame the writer or the director. You'll blame the people. Especially, like, I've seen it too many times already. Like, Mad Max Furiosa did only okay in box offices.
Yep.
And people are like, are we gonna finally admit that women-led movies are bad? And it's like, there's been hundreds of millions stanky male-led movies, too. It's not the fact that it's a woman leading the movie that made it less than amazing.
I think there's a lot of problems there. I think there's a lot of sexism.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of hypocrisy. And I mean, let's be honest. Look at the world around you. The economy.
What do you mean?
The economy.
Oh, with Furiosa?
It's so tight. Who has time and money to go see a movie?
I was breaking this down to you the other day. It's like $100 for like a family, or even just like 2 people. It could be up to $60 to watch a movie where you don't even get to add like subtitles. You can't change the volume or the brightness.
Can't pause.
You can't pause. And everyone else in the movie, your like movie-going experience also hinges on whether or not everyone else in the theater is cool or an ass. Because if they're all assholes, then it's going to ruin your time with the movie. To pay too much money for incredibly cheap food that you could easily just get way more of, way cheaper at your local grocery store. To watch, instead, one of your streaming services that you're already paying $5.99 a month for.
Yep.
With every single movie known to man on it. Why would anyone want to go to the theater?
Yeah, I don't get it either. I brought up something to you because sometimes at my job, I work with high schoolers. And I like them. They're the end of Gen Z. I've always gotten along with Gen Z. But this is the end before we get the Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
And when I ask them about their hobbies do not include watching TV or movies.
Yeah.
They don't care about that stuff. And I was telling you, that's a major problem for the film industry. Because you have a whole generation of people who just don't give a fuck.
And it's
and you're not doing anything to entertain them.
That's the big... I see people always whining and bitching like, oh, TikTok has made... The new generations just don't have the attention span. And it's like, that's not their fault. That's yours.
That's not about their attention span. Stop blaming the individuals who... Well, they love rapid editing. You can make a movie of rapid editing. Have you ever seen... Shaun of the Dead. What's that director's name?
Oh, yeah. What is his name? Oh, man. Sean Penn? No. What?
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright taught me how to edit comedy. I use it quite a lot.
It's very fast, very well timed.
And it's all about that. And you know what? TikTok does the same thing. When they edit, they make sure that if you watch really good ones, they're really well edited, and that's the thing. And it's not because of attention span. It's because people find it more funny and more entertaining than a movie about a white guy in an alien planet reigning supreme.
Yeah. Also, like lots of TikToks, a ton of TikToks, is just one person holding the phone, basically just monologuing. They're just telling an experience they've had.
Yeah.
With little to no editing or effects. It's not the attention span of the audience. It's just that why would they bother sitting around watching something boring when they have entertaining things right at their fingertips?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If the audience isn't... If you can't keep your audience's attention, it's not their fault. It's yours. You need and every single filmmaker these days is doing the most boring cinematography, the most boring editing, most boring things ever, with boring, droning scripts that are just filled with fluff, and no wonder people aren't watching. No wonder people can't keep their attention on your stupid, boring movie.
Well, you know, that idea that Hollywood has run out of ideas is not an idea or a myth. It is very much factual.
Yeah.
We'll run through this really quickly. Tom Bombadil will appear in the Rings of Power. He has no right to be there.
I don't care about Tom Bombadil.
Tom Bombadil should have been in the Fellowship of the Ring.
It's just going to be because now all those whiny fans are like, Tom Bombadil,
Yep.
Even though he wouldn't have added anything to the movie.
And they asked Peter Jackson about it, and he said, I couldn't put him in because he breaks the damn rules.
He does.
Because he can magically take the ring, yes, the one true ring, and make it disappear.
Yeah.
And Frodo is amazed by this. He can't believe it. And Tom goes, but I can't do that. Brings the ring back to reality and gives it to Frodo and goes, this is your task. You have to do this.
It makes no sense.
He's a god amongst the Middle-earth people. He cannot... He's a fun character. If you love the lore, he's a very fun character. But to shove him into a different story where he doesn't belong.
Yeah, and it's either gonna be it'll either be that same problem where he'll break the world because of his powers, or they'll have to completely nerf him to make him fit in this world. So then, is it even really Tom at that point?
The image we got is him talking to the stranger, who is Gandalf.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm going to guess they nerf him, and also he's going to be the one who kind of awakens him so that he realizes, oh, I am a sentient being.
Yeah, just make it your own story. Just come up with new characters. I'm tired. That's something I really hate about things like this. Is like, oh, but do you remember these characters? Your beloved favorites from that movie that was popular? Yeah, I do. Why are you reminding me of those beloved favorites? Now I don't want to watch your worser movie. I just want to watch the one that's actually good, where my beloved favorites come from.
Yeah. Glenn Powell, Hangman from Maverick, new movie icon. He's got a new movie out on Netflix. He's grown in popularity. They asked him about Batman, and he said his take on Batman, if he were to play him, would be more in line with Michael Keaton, and that he couldn't really understand the darker tones of Matthew Reeves' The Batman. Mm-hmm. Right? He doesn't want to play a superhero.
I don't blame him.
But for some reason this made top news. And I'm like, I know Hollywood and I know what they're doing. They're sending little feelers out there because they're trying to figure out who's going to be the DCU. Who
does want to be a superhero?
Yeah,
who's going to hear this and be like, but I will?
Glenn, if he doesn't want to do it, don't throw his hat in the ring. Mm-hmm. Give it to Jake Gyllenhaal, and that's the end of the damn story. But again, we can't get past Batman.
I know. I'm so sick of the same guys. Another Batman. Again. There's so many. They're so boring because it's the same thing over and over again. Oh, is Moana 2 on this list?
No, I didn't. Go ahead.
Hey, you remember that Disney movie that ended perfectly fine and had no room or real point for having a sequel? Guess what? Here comes its sequel. Yippee skippy. Moana's gonna get a sequel no one asked for. And Lion King's gonna get a prequel no one asked for. Lion King fans have been asking for a third one, a true third one, but nope, prequel. I saw someone pointing out something the other day.
What?
About this Mufasa movie. So it's implied he's not a king.
Yeah.
So they're not born royalty.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, that beats the purpose of Scar's entire motivation. There's not many stories about the president's brother trying to kill him for power.
Yeah, but if he took out... I'm guessing Mufasa has to take down with... What's Scar's real name?
Taka.
Mufasa and Taka will team up together to take out some other more evil lion, and they will establish themselves as...
The new
order.
I guess. Which is just going to make... No matter what they do, it's just going to make Mufasa look like an asshole. Because if Taka helps him and then doesn't get any of the rewards, then Mufasa's an asshole. And then it's like, well, can you blame your brother for wanting to kill you?
How did he get the scar?
I think it was a wildebeest.
Okay. Wasn't the two of them fighting each other?
No. I'm pretty sure it was a wildebeest.
Okay.
Unless they change that. Who knows?
Amazon MGM Studios is going forward with the He-Man remake. This remake has been in developmental hell for over a decade.
What do you mean remake? Like the animated one?
Live action.
Oh.
They wanted to make a live action a long time ago.
Okay.
I talked about it.
They should get Glenn Powell for that.
Oh my No. Sorry about that. They already got their He-Man. He's a British actor who did Red, White, and Royal Blue.
I have no idea what that is.
These are Amazon MGM shows that he's been mostly in, but they got him I'm like, fine, he's not blonde, but let's go.
You can put a wig on him. It's fine.
The thing is, I talked about the He-Man remake in the first season of Coffee Break.
Yeah. Which was like 4 years ago.
We're in season 3. We're ending season 3 around August, right?
Nice.
And then we begin season 4.
Cool.
Because my seasons go a year long. Because I will do whatever I want.
Yes.
In fact, I'll call it series 4.
In fact, you don't even know that we're on our 3rd season, did you?
Some of them do. The fact that they're keeping this idea around and it's not coming to truth, it's like a Highlander.
Yeah.
Highlander has been constantly like, oh, we're going to reboot it, we're going to do it, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. The actors, they'll come out and they'll be like, yeah, I've already been suited for the role, and then nothing happens.
You know, when things are in developmental hell, usually that's a sign that the story's not very good.
Do you know what it actually is?
In that hell for a reason.
It's not the story. It's the producers.
Mm-hmm. They can't agree on something.
Yep.
They want it one way, but it like actively goes against the concept of the story they're trying to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Or they want a specific actor, but they're too busy, or whatever.
So, why I didn't write so much about the He-Man remake is because I'm also going to bet right now you don't see it.
Yeah.
You will never see it.
100%. It's just a crazy world to try to do live action anyway.
It is, especially when you have the capability of we were talking about Walt Disney and how many steps he went through animating his classic films.
Yep.
How they basically filmed an entire live action version and then sat down and drew it.
Yes.
That's how they did their old school animation. And the example I made was if he came in to Industrial Light and Magic and he saw that LED screen that moves, he would blow his brains out. He wouldn't understand. He'd be like, wait, I wasted all this time? He'd be like, where's all your script? And they'd be like, it's a tablet.
He'd be like, how many paintings did you use? And they're like, none.
We don't paint it, we just kind of color it in as we go.
It just like collapses.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Blue Beetle director will be making a Just Cause film. Just Cause is a video game.
Really?
I couldn't get into them.
No.
Just Cause.
This feels a lot like, do you remember Twisted Metal?
Yes, I was thinking of Twisted Metal today.
This feels a lot like that.
I was talking to a coworker and they're like, I can't sit down and watch more than 2 episodes of something. And I was like, when Twisted Metal came out, I watched all 10 hours of it in one day.
Yeah.
I regretted it, but I got it done.
It's just one of those days. Sometimes you have those days where, because like we weren't watching exclusively, it was just the thing to have on. Well, we also played our Switches.
Yeah.
So, not a glowing review.
It wasn't that great of a show.
It so wasn't.
It was fun. It was just not that great. Mm-hmm. And then Mike Flanagan, known for doing a lot of Stephen King adaptations, The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Has he done Stephen King adaptations?
Yeah, Dr. Sleep.
Okay, that's one. What others?
I know he's done others.
Okay.
And he's got a new one coming out soon.
Yeah.
But, what was it? Midnight Mass.
Yep.
Midnight Club.
And then the most recent one was...
The Fall of the House of Usher.
Which I thought was great.
He's going to... All the rumors were true. He's writing and directing the new Exorcist.
I think this could be cool.
He said it's going to be intense. And I was like, buddy... I'm here for you.
He's really good at building tension.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm curious.
Yeah, weirdly enough, this will be his first time dealing with demons.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow, I guess he's
dealt with monsters and
like,
ghosts, but never demons.
Wow. Well, I mean, unless we count the angel.
Angel is just a monster.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell what the angel is.
He's a vampire.
Yes. How do you classify that? Is that a demon? Or is that
a monster?
Spawn?
And if you weren't sick and tired of the remakes and reboots, Universal, yes, everyone loves them for their monster movies, is going to make and actively right now writing the prequel to The Mummy.
You told me this.
Not,
and it made me
not,
so upset.
not Tom Cruise's Mummy.
No.
Not Boris Karloff's Mummy.
No.
To
Brendan Fraser. That Mummy.
the 1998 film Mummy, which the opening is the prequel. There's nothing more. What? Here's my thing. I was thinking about this today, and I was like, okay. They did a spin-off of The Scorpion King.
Uh-huh.
And now we're going to do this prequel. What wrestling actor are we going to get to do this? Because
The Miz.
that would be awesome.
It would be.
I've seen all of The Scorpion King. Do I remember it all? God, no. Is it worth remembering? No.
No.
Every time the Scorpion King shows up in each of these films, it's a different wrestler.
Is it really?
Yeah, so the fifth and final one, the Book of Souls, is straight up a white wrestler.
Oh.
And you're like, but we started with Dwayne.
I was, to tangent really quick, I was at the store and I was looking at a couple of different like blind bag items. Mm-hmm. I saw one and it was like Disney princesses. I was like, okay. And I looked at the back of it and I'm looking at their options. I was trying to figure out who the like chasers were. It's like special exclusive ones that are harder to find. And I'm like, I wonder which ones those ones are. And I was looking and I was like, did they make Jasmine white? Oh no, they definitely did. So, whoops. Okay, so
well, hold on. Mm-hmm. That's an interesting thing. Because we've been talking a lot about Disney.
Yes.
And do you want to talk about why we're talking about Disney?
I've mentioned it before. I'm gonna review everything. All of it. Every Disney animated movie. But that means we have to watch every Disney animated movie. We fortunately just finished watching all of the terrible ones in the beginning.
But we're still not at the Renaissance.
No, it's gonna take a while.
Currently, we're in Cinderella.
Uh-huh.
We were talking about Cinderella's hair.
Yes.
And how it changes color.
Yeah.
I've noticed this about Jasmine as well. Jasmine used to be tan.
Uh-huh.
Then a light tan.
Yeah.
And then the live-action remake, she's not a white woman.
No.
But she has olive skin.
She does.
And I've noticed that as time keeps going on, she's becoming more white.
Yeah.
While Aladdin is getting a little darker.
He is. Which interesting choices. I'll give him that.
I think it's because of the class difference between them.
I also know, obviously, like Indian folks have a wide a range of skin tones they
They're
can come
not
in.
Indian.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Arabian?
Yeah.
Is it?
They're Arabic.
Is that not? In...
Arabian Nights.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of right there, dude.
Is there no Indian Disney princess?
Ooh. I can think of all the other Asian cultures they did.
I don't think so. No.
They probably didn't want to touch it because of Bollywood.
Maybe.
Because, I mean, it's bigger than Hollywood.
You know who's the best Disney princess? Their Incan princess, Cusco.
Cheese me no likey.
No touchy. What were we saying? Oh yeah, the prequel to The Mummy. You think it's going to be about The Mummy. I'm suspicious. Maybe it's going to be about O'Connell in the military meeting Benny, maybe? Because I'm like, I don't know what we could do. Why would you make it a prequel of this specific movie if it wasn't about O'Connell?
Okay. It can't be, because that's the stupidest thing to ever do.
But obviously not. Rebel Moon exists.
You're right. And Blood and Honey.
Rebel Moon, and they changed the names to the flashbacks.
Wait, which Rebel Moon are you talking about? I'm talking about Chapter 1.
God, that's gonna be so annoying.
I was talking about Part 2.
The same movie could have two different names. Why?
One of the things that bothers me the most about The Mummy, and I love it, I have 3 favorite films in this world that I rewatch every year. Thanks, buddy. Mm-hmm. It is Young Guns, American Psycho, and The Mummy. The Mummy is crucial to me. I've talked about it before. When you watch The Mummy and you look at Rick, right?
Yeah.
He has a tattoo that he sometimes hides underneath his bracer.
Yeah.
But it is the marking of the Magi.
Okay.
Who are the watchers over Hamunaptra. Why does he have that?
I don't know.
And then
maybe this
second
prequel movie will tell you.
You get to the second movie. Well, Artemis tells him in the first one, he's like, you were chosen by God. And then in the second one, they like really heavily lay into that.
Yeah, that's like a
and he's like,
pivotal thing.
I'm an American. What are you talking about? I just got a tattoo that I thought was cool. And it's like, no, I don't. You can't expand that out.
But now this prequel movie can solve all your problems.
I think it's going to be about a team of archaeologists before everyone who uncovered Imhotep and then found out what a bad thing he was and then reburied him.
That's really dumb.
It is dumb.
Both are equally dumb concepts.
We're giving you the dumbest ideas because you only came at us with dumb ideas.
It's like, no one wanted this. You missed the Brendan Fraser. Like, everyone loves him still. But that was like a couple years ago, guys. You can tell that's when they started to make the ideas for this. Because they're like, Brendan Fraser's really popular right now. Let's do something related to him. And then it took a while to develop their idea. And now here we are.
Yeah. Dumb ideas.
Yes.
Just wanted to bring this up. I talked to you about it, too. Today, someone asked me where the chewing gum was, and I really wanted to ask, as opposed to the swallowing gum? You could have just said gum. Like, you don't need to add the verb in there. We all know what it is.
I'll have my own little mini story. I was looking at the blind bags, like I said. I found one of One Piece, and it had all these cool characters. You could get Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Sanji, Arlong, Buggy, Mihawk, Kobe, all great options. And also Axe-Hand Morgan. And guess which one I got? Everyone's favorite character, Axe-Hand Morgan. I'm not salty about it at all. Any other one. And I'm annoyed. It could have been any other character. Could have been Helmeppo. Could have been Shanks. Could have been Kuro.
I am amazed Shanks wasn't added in there.
I know, right?
He's kind of like a pivotal character? Maybe Ace?
Oh yeah, Usopp was also in that list. I'm sorry. I always forget about it.
It's the great Captain Usopp.
Sorry, great Captain Usopp. So annoying and dumb, and I'm mad, and I am so salty that I got stupid Axe-Hand more. It could have been any of them.
Yeah, but if you got Zoro, Sanji, or Luffy, I would have stole it from you. I would have been like, nah, that one's mine.
I was really hoping for Kobe.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I know that's your dude. So we've been playing a video game, or you've been playing a video game, and I've been watching you.
Yeah. It's Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door on the Switch.
Go ahead, do your thing.
Oh, it's so fun. I haven't stopped thinking about it since I started playing it. And that was 3 days ago. I didn't get to play any yesterday because I did Dungeons & Dragons with Team Jacked over on Celtic Phoenix's channel. So I didn't have time, but I've been playing it, and it's so much fun. Oh my god, they made so many good life improvement things. There's Ian Fumus, who helps you with your tasks, with your trouble in Rogueport. And I just love going back into this world. It's so cool. I love the badges. So usually my sister played, and I would watch. And she never did much badge stuff. She always prioritized health and flower power. But I'm like, give me those badges. I want all of them. More BP.
With RPGs like that, One Piece, which I've been doing lately, if you didn't know, I'm not showing you guys me actually sitting down and going through the menus and trying to figure this all out, but I am. In between spots, I'll actually sit down and just plug it all in, and that's why when Luffy punches a guy, it's 4,000 damage. Like, I'm the one kind of making sure that he has that.
Doing like the tree and everything.
Yeah. Well, it's not a tree, so to say, but it's the same concept.
Yeah. What have you been thinking about Paper Mario? This is your first time experiencing this story.
I hate them all.
We're in Bogley Woods. We just got Madame Flurry. What do you mean you hate them all? What do you mean?
I just can't get into Mario.
You haven't tried. This is your chance. This is the one to get into.
Yeah, I tried years ago. It was called Mario 64.
Look at how... Well, Mario 64 is a bad game. This is the good one. This one's actually great. The characters are fun. I really like... You laughed when we went to the Koopa mayor, and he's like, "What's your name?" And it's like, "Mario." It's like, good job, Murphy. And it's Mario. And he's like, "Yes, they are nice eyebrows. Thank you, Murphy." I heard you laugh. I heard you chortle.
It is funny dialogue.
When Tech revealed he was in love with Princess Peach, I heard you go, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I mean, it's a Mario game for sure. I like when you're fighting, you're in the audience, or you have an audience.
Yes, I think the turn, like, it is the best executed turn-based system I can think of. Because you still need to, like, move buttons and stuff to time up your attacks properly to get more damage, and also to block the enemies. And then the audience is a factor to think about. There's several, like, outside factors that you can't account for. Like when the lights fall, you know? I think it's so enthralling.
I think the best turn-based RPG style I've ever played was Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah?
Playing it the second time and kind of really understanding what Square Enix was going for there, I was like, oh, this is cool. You get to move around and run around with your character. But most of the time, you're going to be fumbling through menus.
Yep.
Rapidly going like, I need to use, Frigga?
Yep.
On this one guy, and then you got to make sure you're on the right one. And then you're like, what about Barrett? He's got to do this move to this guy.
Tifa's, like, max meters filled or something.
I usually leave Tifa alone.
She usually knows what she's doing.
I just don't care for her.
Just like my Star Wars characters.
Women don't belong in space. Look at the Challenger. It was a joke.
That was a tragedy. You can't joke about that.
Well, if you don't laugh, it's sad.
That doesn't make it not sad.
I mean, it's the risk of going to space, right?
That is true.
So, it's box office trolls.
Box office trolls.
What? Furiosa, a Mad Max saga is number one?
But, yeah, women-led movies are bad. Boo.
Number two is the Garfield movie.
Yeah.
The reviews for this are terrible. Furiosa, people are loving it.
I've heard only bad things about Garfield.
Here's the most surprising thing to me. Furiosa coming in at number one at $26 million.
Yes.
Garfield coming in at number two at $24 million.
Yes.
There's a $2 million difference.
Here's the thing. What is Furiosa rated? R, right?
Yeah.
So, what are families gonna watch?
Yeah. But I don't know about that. That's just weird.
Also, Furiosa's like 5 hours long. It's all that things. We talked about it already.
It's not 5 hours long.
Isn't it?
It's 3.
Is it still so long? I'm tired of long movies.
Number 3 is If. Number 4 is The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Okay. Do you guys know anyone who saw this movie?
No.
I've been asking around, and no one ever talked to me about it.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know anyone who really cares about Planet of the Apes, like in general. Other than the original, because of the twist at the end. But this doesn't have that twist or anything, so no one really cares.
Number 5, The Fall Guy, which was supposed to be the big summer block tent.
Yeah. No one cares about action movies. We have CG. It's not impressive.
Flag tent. Tent pole?
Yes.
Yeah, tentpole. The summer tentpole was supposed to be Fall Guy.
Yeah.
Number 6, The Strangers Chapter 1, which is just a remake. I still don't understand that.
Yeah.
Number 7, Sight.
Don't know what that is.
I'm not going to bother. Number 8, Challengers. Some people really hate this movie,
Really?
and some people really like it.
Challengers?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I was like, maybe I'll give it a shot. The thing is, I don't care for Zendaya.
Yeah. Next week, that new M. Night Shyamalan movie comes out. Is it next week? It might actually not be next week. Watchers? The Watchers? Which is just going to completely throw Watcher, the YouTube channel.
Oh, no, they deserve it.
Yeah. Still salty about their stupid streaming service.
Number 9, Back to Black.
Okay.
And number 10, Babes.
All right. Whole lot of nothing great.
Yeah, so nothing's going on here. That's because there is no big movie until July.
Yeah, and not even Fall Guy could save it. I think it's also just producers and distribution companies don't know what audiences want.
Mm-hmm.
Audiences don't care about hot man action sequences, clearly, because it's not doing well.
Yeah.
You know what people loved? Barbie, Oppenheimer, Top Gun Maverick. What did they do? Tell interesting stories with cool, engaging characters.
I would say Maverick's better than Barbie, but, like, by a landslide.
Oh, yeah. Maverick, I think, is my favorite movie.
Yeah, see, there's a thing right there.
But I love Labyrinth. It can't possibly be better than Labyrinth, right?
But what were you thinking?
But am I... But I don't know. Maverick's so good.
You're supposed to say, I was doing what you told me to do, not to think.
You told me not to think.
Yeah, I know Deadpool would be big.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's really much after this. I don't even understand why Nosferatu will be released Christmas Day. That's a terrible day to be dropping something like that.
Didn't they just fucking do that? Didn't they drop Demeter on Christmas? Or around Christmas? Or was it Thanksgiving?
I thought The Voyage of the Dawn Demeter.
I felt like half my brain just shutting down trying to comprehend. Yeah, that was also Thanksgiving, wasn't it?
No, I thought it was August. Last August.
No, I'm pretty sure it was one of those holidays. Why are you doing the vampire thing during the holidays, guys? I'm gonna Google it.
Okay, yeah, it'll be more quiet than me hacking into the mainframe.
Clickety clackety with your clicky clacky keyboard.
And you know what Hollywood's gonna do? They're gonna blame the writer's strike. And they're gonna be like, well, it's because the writer's strike, we had to push everything back. And it's like, you know, if you guys actually just cooperated together, you wouldn't have had to deal with this strike.
And gee, I wonder why the strike was happening, guys.
Yeah, because they're not cooperating with
Whose
them.
fault was it that it took so long?
I also love that the directors had just sat back. They had a nice little 3-month hiatus.
It was it was August. You were right. I must have hit streaming around Thanksgiving then, because I swear I remember them saying, like.
No, we watched it on streaming when it came out in February.
Are you sure? Oh,
Yeah.
was it Valentine's Day? I was incorrect. I'll take the L. My B. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen between here and like you're saying, like August and stuff.
Yeah, you just got Deadpool. You got The Acolyte. Luckily, we have Rings of Power.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of TV shows, not a lot of movies.
Yeah, I don't expect many people to show up for Rings of Power.
No.
I expect it to be way better than the first season.
Yeah, that's gonna be the problem. It'll be way better, but no one will watch it.
Yep.
Because
And then they'll cancel it.
Yep. That's how it goes in the industry.
And then you got House of Dragons.
Yep. Which is a bit later, I think.
It's the same time as Rings of Power.
Yeah. They can't keep doing that.
Well, they want to pit these two against each other, and it's like, I love them both.
Mm-hmm.
I just love one more than the other.
Yeah. It's fine. People, like, streaming services, they're like, we can't release this at the same time as this other show. You're dumb. Do you think the one show is going to be able to keep someone entertained for like a whole month? Especially if they're releasing episodes weekly, not all at once.
Did we talk about Food Stars?
No. Food Stars came back. I made a review about it, the first season.
So, Food Stars. Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars, season 1, came out last summer.
Yep.
And we loved it so much that you made a video about it.
Yeah.
Proclaiming your love for it.
Uh-huh.
And we were like, surely, this is too great to ever have a second season. So, lo and behold,
here comes Gordon.
And he's like, you know what? Let's shake it up. Let's drag in Lisa Vanderpump.
Yeah.
And we'll create teams.
Because he loves his teams.
Stop me if you've heard this one before. And he builds a team on his own, and she builds a team on her own, and they're going to compete against each other to find out who the true food star is.
Yes. Who do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's maybe the guy whose name is on the title of the show? Or do you think it's going to be this other random lady who he just brought on suddenly now?
She's not a random lady.
I know she is big and famous, but you underestimate the power of Gordon Ramsay's gigantic ego.
Yeah.
Especially that first episode, it was like weirdly scripted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could tell they had a bunch of contestants who were like obviously fake contestants. Like, their displays weren't nearly as impressive. Half of them didn't even have displays. Their like pitch moments were obviously like...
It was Shark Tank.
It was a scripted Shark Tank, and it was weirdly bad. It almost felt like they had already decided who would have what people on their teams, and they just had the facade of the tryouts type of deal, which was a weird way to start the show.
It was weird, and you're like, it's scripted, and I was like, I don't think it's fully scripted. Mm-hmm. I think they had them come in, and they saw their presentations, they did their thing, and then they sat down and then they wrote out the script on like who's supposed to make it, who's not going to make it. Mm-hmm. Here's what you're going to say about them, who you're going to bring in. Let's get the drama aspect. And that's that weird scripted stuff that you're talking about, because the scripted scenes, you can tell, are really only when Gordon and Lisa are in the studio together.
Yes.
When they're sitting in the chairs next to each other. That's when you see that. It's intercut, again, using editing, this magical tool we have, to make you think that the audience or the person they're talking about is in the room with them.
Yeah.
I don't think they actually were. I think it was just them in this vast void.
Maybe. It's not genuine. That is one thing. Whether it's scripted or like half scripted or what, it is not genuine.
And the way he's going, Gordon, with his shows right now, we got Kitchen Nightmares. No. Hell's Kitchen. Season 200 and motherfucking nothing.
Yeah.
That was terrible. We got Next Level Chef. Season 3. That was terrible. We got MasterChef Junior Season 12.
Yeah.
Which we're still trying to get through.
They're going to go with MasterChef Season 14 or something.
Which will be about gens.
It's generations. Because it all has to be a team. It's always the team shit.
Which will be at the end of this, because MasterChef usually shows up during...
like summer into
later
fall.
Summer, yep.
Yeah.
And then we'll get Kitchen Nightmares 2.
Yeah. It's just never ending.
And then, we redo it again. We get a small break, and then come early or late winter, another Hell's Kitchen.
Yep. It's, I don't know. I don't like it. Also, the first episode, like, you can tell that these people are actually entrepreneurs, where they have, like, they're talking about, like, their business end of things, or, like, this is my product, here's our sales, here's my numbers, and every one of them has to talk about what they get in revenue, and every single one of them is like, yeah, I've made, like, $50,000 every year, or something like that, and every single time I'm like, you don't need a handout.
No.
You don't need a handout from Gordon Ramsay. You don't need $250,000. You're already making more than that.
I think the reason why they did it up front is because last season, when they did it at the end,
it felt really...
When you see the three who are competing against each other and the guy who wins, when they revealed what he was doing, I looked at you. I had a moment and I was like, this guy is on the next level. He should be next level chef. This is ridiculous. And what was he taking? He was taking like recycled plastics to create water.
Yeah, so you didn't have to like ship cans with like flavored water. The cup would flavor the water. It was an amazing invention. I'm amazed I haven't seen more of it just like on store shelves. But yeah, like this second season already feels very different. So they probably learned from their first season mistakes. Yes. But this first episode did not give me hope.
So the last piece of this is Ghost Adventures. Ghost Adventures is back.
Yeah.
It never really went away.
No. Zach did. He stayed home and told the other guys to do things.
Their seasons are about 6 episodes. Why? I don't know.
They just release it like 3 times throughout the year. Each time 6 episodes. So it makes a full actual season.
Yeah, so they had house calls, which was fun. And you've done some videos about Zach.
I did one, yeah.
And they, to announce this new season, which was different than house calls, they had their special 2-hour episode about skinwalkers.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, with all the flack that I just got about that video, let's see what this is. And it was a delight to me that Zach was very respectful.
Sure.
There was a lot of nonsense going on.
Yes.
There's a Navajo man carrying around a katana, walking around caves.
Yes.
There's I can't remember the tribe, but he was from South Carolina, and he's hanging out with them in Utah.
Wasn't he saying its name, too? Like, one of them kept saying the real name of the skinwalkers and everything. And it's like, you're not supposed to do that.
I think he did.
Like, you're not supposed to say its name. That's, like, rule number 1.
And they never capture this creature.
What?
They only capture flashing lights. Nothing of great importance happens. They don't really talk about the origins of the creature.
No.
They mention Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
As if that's a casual place to go visit. It's not. I wasn't kidding when I was showing off pictures of the show.
Yeah.
That guy whose name's Dragon, he walks around with a shotgun you're not supposed to enter.
Yeah. Not only because it's like private property and everything, and they're like doing like controlled experiments and stuff, but also they've proven there's like crazy radiation in some locations of this property. It's for your own health and safety to not be near there.
Yeah, and one of the guys is like, yeah, I went there. And I was like, no, you didn't. No, you fucking didn't. There's no goddamn way you could have. You're a weird drug addict that's hanging out in, like, Utah, and they're like, Skinwalker Ranch is nearby. 200 miles northeast. What are you talking about nearby?
Nearby. Yeah, right.
Get out of here, Zach. So we watched the next episode where they went to a western town.
Yeah.
Where they did some renovations, and there was a brothel. And you wanna talk about how much you love this episode?
So Zachary Bo-Thackeray waltzes into this place, and he's like, I'm gonna try to entice one of the brothel ghosts. And he lays down in the bed and throws wads of money around him.
He pulls out of his wallet.
To, like, entice the ghosts to perform sexual favors.
And he's not being sexy about it.
No. It doesn't work for him, so he gets up, he tells Aaron to do it, and they're like, whoa, look, our Xbox machine is picking up a skeleton, and it's right on top of him, it's riding him, and I'm like, it's his skeleton. It's not some ghost skeleton that's sitting on top of him, it's the skeleton for his body. It's just freaking out because he's at a weird angle.
I love, before you keep going, when Zach throws the money out, right? It's a wad of cash. And I was just looking at it because, you go to a strip club, you're going to pay in singles, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know much about prostitution because I've never partaken in it. But the guy is throwing $20 bills, and I'm looking closely, and I'm like, there's a few 50s in here, and there's a couple Bens. And I'm like, Zach, what are you doing walking around with like $1,000 in cash?
I know. Did
just
he do
for
it
this one scene?
Just for this one bit?
Yeah, because here's the problem with Zach.
Uh-huh.
And you and I have watched it so much that we know.
Mm-hmm.
Zach has a fetish.
He does.
And his fetish is to sleep with a ghost.
He talks so often about how horny he is because ghost things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he'll be like, it made me incredibly angry. But then sometimes he's like, for some reason, I am incredibly lustful right now. And he always says it weirdly.
Yeah. I remember when he was a kid and he started doing the show, and he was like, something touched my butt.
Yeah, he thinks things touch his butt constantly, apparently.
And I was like, dude, it was Aaron. What are you talking about?
But anyway, the whole, not only is the whole everything about the scenario very dumb and stupid, but for me, the insulting thing is that he assumes prostitutes or brothel women, when they die, whether they were on the location or not, would continue to just whore themselves out into their afterlives.
And he made the assumption.
As if prostitutes wanted to do that their whole lives, and it wasn't often a last resort.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely just prostitute ghosts ready to throw themselves at you, Zach.
So I'm going to try and make Ghost Adventures a weekly thing.
Oh, God.
Because I want to make fun of it. There were a lot of movies we watched that I can't talk about because of your little Disney project.
It's just a bunch of Disney movies. All the early ones. All those really bad anthologies.
When you finally release it, maybe we'll do a little special segment where we actually quickly go through them. Because there was a lot of stuff to talk about.
Or just break down like the evolution of Disney.
Yeah.
We're still so early on. We were only like 10 movies in. And I just added 6 to the list because I realized I had missed a bunch. So it's almost as if we haven't even gotten started yet.
You didn't realize you missed a bunch. I pointed out you missed a bunch.
Well, we were for some reason we brought up Winnie the Pooh. And then I was like, oh, there's only 2 Winnie the Pooh movies on our list. And you were like, the Tigger movie? And I was like, no, that one didn't make it. And I was like, but why didn't that one make it? And then you said, what about a Goofy movie? And I'm like, that one didn't make it either. So I had to figure out what I had missed, trying to find. There's no comprehensive list of all their movies, including their sequels, anywhere. Not even on their wiki, for some dumb reason.
You want to know why I remembered the Goofy movie?
Mm-hmm.
It was because when I was editing Garbage Eggs, the last thing I edited was you mentioned the Goofy movie, and I found the clip of Max pretending to be Powerline.
Nice, yeah.
And I was just watching it. I was recording it, but I was watching it just like, God, this is such a great movie.
It is.
And then, when I realized, like, oh, you forgot the Goofy movie.
I did. I missed the Disney Toons. I'm not going to include Planes. I will put that in the Pixar category. I don't care if it technically counts as a Disney Toon.
You can just let it die.
I do not. I'll handle that later. That'll be a different thing.
I did have one more thing.
I like how you went to open Google.
Even though it's open? Yeah.
You were already on it. What is it? Good answer.
Hold on, I'm trying to find it. Okay, what's John Krasinski's best role?
Yeah, this was the poll last week.
Yep, I didn't think about it until later, and I was able to make a poll on it.
Because your poll-making abilities just appear and disappear at random.
They do. I got 40 votes in, and Jim Halpert from The Office wins.
Yep, I really liked the picture.
The picture is amazing.
It's Jim. That's Jim.
It's Asian Jim.
It's Jim from The Office.
Coming in at 63. Tying for second place is Jack Ryan. Him playing Jack Ryan. Mm-hmm. And 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, which is a Zack Snyder film, by the way.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, I think it's probably one of his best films because he doesn't do anything dumb with it. It's just a war film.
Well, It's only recently that he's gotten weird. I'm gonna be honest.
No, he's always been weird. Just like, every now and then he makes something and you're like, oh, this is kind of unique, isn't it? And then number 8, The Quiet Place, which he wrote and directed.
God. The more I think about it, the less I like that movie. The opening sequence makes no sense. The very beginning, where the family's waltzing around, and the little boy, like, picks up a train or something and starts making noises, like a toy, and the sister doesn't realize because she's deaf, so she didn't notice. And then he goes running to catch up with the boy, but it's too late. Some monster grabs the boy. And then it's like The Quiet Place. So that was the opening credits, like, open.
Okay, well, what makes no sense about that?
If the boy, he's old enough. Like, he's like 7. He knows how this world functions. He knows that quiet is the thing to be. And the deaf girl, who was the older sister...
No, quiet is the place to be.
She was supposed to be watching him. Why would she let him trail behind her if she's supposed to be watching him? Why would that be a thing? That any of them would... Dumb. Dumb on everyone.
I love that Jim is in there. I wish I could have added more, because I would have added Mr. Fantastic. Mm-hmm. But I was like, he's not Mr. Fantastic enough for me to say it's worth the vote.
Yeah, he was only in the one movie for, like, 5 minutes?
It was still cool.
No, it wasn't.
Spaghettification, baby.
Boo.
So I will probably make a new poll, if I can, and it'll probably be about The Mummy.
Nice.
I don't know, but you'll find out when you get to listen to this. One Piece is still going. The episode that drops with this podcast was very short, because I had already reached a moment where I was like, I can go back and do some things and do some grinding. So I think it's like only 40 minutes long.
That's okay.
But when I went back and did some grinding, I found some more story that's not really tied to the story. It's these riffs. They're called memory links. And as I keep running into them, I'll kind of make them their own little mini-series.
Nice.
As a companion to it.
Cute.
And so you'll get your first mini or memory link series with it.
Cool.
So I hope you guys enjoy that. And yeah, I'll be working on this thing. For those who watched The Evil Within, thank you.
Yeah.
I know it's been quite some time and the game has not aged well.
No.
But I'm still dedicated on finishing it and making it a thing. And like I said, new cryptid video very soon.
I have one more Magical Girl May video to make.
Nice.
It won't be done until the 1st of June. If only May had 31 days. It only has 30. Oops.
You want to try again?
Does it have 31? I might make it in time.
Friday's the 31st.
I might have it. It might. Ooh, baby. If you're excited for that Disney thing, it's going to take ages. So, don't get your hopes up just yet. It's going to take a long time for this Disney thing to happen. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening. I hope you guys are having a good week, enjoying your summer. It's nasty hot out here.
Yep.
I am sweating constantly.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah, stay hydrated, sleep a lot.
Yes.
Enjoy that Star Wars.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't touch me with your stinky little toes.
Oh, my toes want to touch you.
No.
Testing 1 2 1 2 5 4.
Testing 3 6.